Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to take all of you on a tour through the GM exhibit. I would have to say as an overall message or an overriding message, but have to be really developing very distinct brands, real strong differentiation between our brands. It's been been a significant effort in that way on for Cadillac in particular, and now you're really seeing it with the production vehicles. Same thing is happening with the Saab brand. I guess I'd back up and say with Cadillac, it all began with a series of concept vehicles from like the year 2000 on up to now, and then the production cars started to roll out. Very strong, very edgy design aesthetic. We're going through the midst of that with the Saab brand. Series of concepts beginning with the Aero X, and then the 9.4 X, which is at Detroit, and then the 9X, which is here, really putting a stake in the ground from a design perspective for the Saab brand. A very distinctive look, a premium brand, but yet quite different than the Cadillac brand. And to have the two brands across from each other here on display, it makes it very, very obvious the difference between those two brands. Speaking of the 9X, here it is. Will it? But I really think that it's got a very unique proportion, great stance. It really builds on Saab's heritage, Scandinavian design, and a real aircraft influence in its design aesthetics throughout. I mean, you know, with the wraparound windshield wrapping to the side glass, the blacked out A-pillar, that's a real aircraft look, canopy look to the roof line. Very aero design, low drag. We even have at the rearward portion of the vehicle some aero extensions that at speed deploy and continue to reduce drag even greater without adding to the overall length of a vehicle. So really proud of the work that they've done. Great aero, great interior space, and for me it's just a good looking design. And again, this design, as well as the 9.4X and the Saab Aero X, they all build on the same design language. I'm sure you can see a whole family resemblance between them, and I think really marks the beginning of a whole new family of Saab products. When the production vehicles start to roll out, you will see an aesthetic that is very much born in these concept vehicles.
This is part of the journey. You know, 2 years ago in this very venue, we launched the Aero X concept car, and that was deliberate to really set the stage and the iconic design value of where we wanted to take the Saab brand, which, the way I look at it, it's got half an eye on history, looking back to the old 900s and 99s, capturing some of the spirit of those vehicles, but bringing them forward in a much more contemporary, modern way. So all of the Saabs that you've seen so far, and you will in the future production vehicles that are coming through, really have this beautiful, clean, crisp, Scandinavian look, but that visually link into this aircraft heritage.
At the Meriva concept, the form vocabulary, the stance, the proportions of the vehicle, you can see how the design has evolved from the present generation of vehicle, far more expressive. The form vocabulary that's on this Meriva and that's on the Flexstream really marks the direction that design is moving in for the Opel brand. Every area of this design has really had a lot of tender loving care in the sculpted body shapes of the Meriva and the Flexstream, which is down this way. Very different from the work we're doing for the Saab brand and for Cadillac as well. It's very fluid, it's very sculptural, very expressive.
You'll see many of the shapes and forms are very fluid and dynamic, and at the same time there's areas that are highlighted by crisp lines of precision, which is part of this German brand origins that we're trying to get. So it's the balance of emotional and then this precision of quality. We've even got that really through the Corsa and something in the Astra, but when you see Insignia later this year, you'll see that coming through into full production form.
what I really like about this new form vocabulary, sculpted surface that Opel has, there are no parallel lines anywhere, no extruded surfaces. Everything is sculpted, well crafted. They're like brush strokes. I mean, this is true art. You know, with the first generation of CTS, the CTS sedan, it was the first production vehicle of the new art and science form vocabulary. Very striking design, very edgy. It was the design that really broke through and made a real change for the Cadillac brand. Our feeling was for the second generation of CTS, and I'm really talking about the sedan, that we wanted to progress that design language, to not lose any of what made the CTS very edgy and very bold, but have a more sophisticated form vocabulary in its execution. You keep all the hard edges, but that surface between those hard edges needs to have a bit more crown, just a bit more caring in its execution. And in the interior, a much more inviting interior space. To have an organization which is open and is free, that designers can come forward with their own ideas beyond what was assigned to them. The thing that's so fascinating, you know, where designers find their inspiration, and designers find their inspiration everywhere around us.